That's absolutely correct, and that's why we're in airports as well. We run 6 terminals here in the U.S., and actually it's really very interesting to see the overlay and the combination of seeing customers both in the airports as well as in the malls, as well as having incremental touch points with retailers, not just in the malls themselves, but also at airports. And so you help them cover a broader range of where they meet their customers.
So you can be everywhere. Let's talk about the mall for 1 second, the Garden State Plaza, which is nearby to us. You're going to add residences? Are we talking about people actually living at the mall in the future?
The mall is going to be just one part of a much larger new town square concept, with both residences, offices, hotels, restaurants. Basically where people, today the mall is a place for most malls, which is this problem. It's a place where people go to get stuff. And that needs to be reinvented into something where people go to have an experience. You have the new town square. With all of the social media where people sitting behind their screens, we are still social animals all, and that's what the mall is supposed to actually reflect and offer, both in terms of the offer in retail, but also a place to hang out, have fun, go see a movie, have a real meal, a fun meal.
There are complexes like that across the country, and I'm wondering how they do in terms of the price per square foot, for instance, for retail or residential. I mean, how does that work out for you?
We have so far 6 malls where we actually have basically residential on our properties as well as offices, and it works out very, very well. Because there's really that combination, because an office, the people who work there need a place to go have a meal, buy their own stuff before they go home. So actually, it's really a symbiotic relationship.
How does it stack, though? Is it, retail and then office and then residential, or completely the other way around in terms of what's most lucrative?
Retail remains the most lucrative. The rest is actually incremental, right? And it helps. The other thing that's good for us, at least, as we think about it, in addition to offering, the incremental services effectively, whether it's office, hotel, as we said, it's also a way to actually capitalize on the land we already own, for which we don't have to pay extra, right, and make a nice return on.
Does an Apple store, for instance, just pulling that out of the air, want to be in a straightforward mall, or does it want to be in one of these complexes, and are they going to pay a premium to be in one of these complexes? How do we look at that? Because retail is still your bread and butter.
Correct. That's absolutely right. I think the combination of what the tenants are willing to pay, whether it's an Apple or anybody else, is going to be a function of footfall and driving footfall. I mean, we have about 1.2 billion people coming through our malls across the world.
Is there more foot traffic when you have one of these complexes versus a mall?
Yes.
There is.
Right, there is.
What's driving foot traffic these days? Is it still the Apple store? We know for a while it was Tesla. I've heard that Warby Parker does as much sales per square foot as an Apple store. What do you see?
Well, we see a very interesting, all the digital native vertical brands, like 44% of them are opening stores in malls, of which 90% is in the A category mall. And they go there because of the footfall, and they pay very well. They're differentiated. They don't open stores everywhere. They open where they have a prospect of seeing as many visitors as they can. It's the old clicks, and if you will click per page, people need to see the visitors. You go there because that's where the people are. And so these digital native brands go to these malls, but since they don't go everywhere, having them in your shopping centers becomes actually a differentiating factor.
I'm wondering, too, as we've talked a lot about, your New Jersey mall and your plans there, but everyone's curious what the global macro situation is. Just in a word, would you say things are fine, or do you see weakness anywhere?
There's weakness. I think the uncertainties created by tariffs, the use of tariffs, you can see that exporting countries like Germany, for example, are starting to getting a little wobbly.
Oh, yeah.